So whenever dude is Flame Juggler, a 2 mana 2/3 neutral battle cry, deal 1 damage to random enemy. I like it. I like it. It's a card that's good versus aggro decks. So you might play it. It's depends on the deck choice, obviously, and it's not an amazing card that you always want to include in any deck. But sometimes you will want to have this 1 damage to a random enemy. If you're an aggro deck and you can deal 1 damage to hero, it's 1 damage to hero, and then you have a 2/3, which is good stats. If you're playing anti-aggro, let's say your opponent played maybe it's a Worgen Infiltrator, a 2/1, and you just play Juggler, you hit it, and you're like, yeah, I killed your minion and I have a 2/3. So it's okay card, definitely might be playable. Definitely will see alive in arenas because the stats are great for arenas, and 1 damage effect is also cool. But constructed might actually see play and some aggro oriented decks. So yeah, cool common. Sacred Warrior, a 4 mana 3/5 for priest. Amazing art, looks great. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. So basically it becomes a 5/5 whenever you heal it. So you play her on turn 4. Your opponent can heal her. By the way, it really, let's say there is Piloted Shredder, right? So she kills Piloted Shredder and she survives that. Just in case. And then let's say you play her on 4 and your opponent plays Sludge Belcher on 5 because it's their turn 5, and then it's your turn 5 and you heal your hero and then you kill Sludge Belcher because the attack for 5 into it. So I think Sacred Warrior is actually amazing, and Priest will be super strong, and maybe we'll have new archetypes of Priest, especially with the Valkyries, with the Sacred Warriors. It's just a common card and it's looking really good. Savage Combatant. So we heard Ben Brode said that Druid is getting great cards and Druid will be super happy. That's a rare. It doesn't seem great, but it's cool. So 4 mana 5/4, Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn. So what I'm thinking, Druid is mostly missing turn 6 cards. It can have, Druid can have Torison, can have Sylvanas. But maybe Savage Combatant is something that Druid needed on turn 6. Which is, you just play Savage Combatant on 6, and then you have 2 mana, you hero power. Then your hero power has +3 attack, so you can, +2 attack, so you have, you can attack something for free. A 5/4, decent stats. You can always also play it on turn 4, obviously, because this is a 4 mana minion. If it survives, then every hero power you use is actually free attack. So, and Druid hero power is really great because Druid doesn't have that much draw, and you want to use your hero power in the turns before you get to Ancient of Lore. But think about Savage Combatant maybe innervated on turn 1 or turn 2. If you innervate Combatant on turn 1, you have a 5/4, so it's always almost like a Yeti, right? People loved coin innervate Yeti, and right now we can coin innervate Combatant, and then on 2, you just hero power and you have free attack. So you can kill a Juggler, you can kill any 2-drop, almost. And that's pretty sick. And you have this 5/4 that just continues dealing damage. So I definitely like Savage Combatant as a card, especially in Druid, because when you look at it, let's say if it would be a card for Warlock, it's bad, right? It's 4 mana 5/4, who needs that? Doesn't matter that much. But the fact that you can actually cheat it in earlier, and that you were missing the card on 6, and you can actually play it on 6 and use the hero power, I think it's huge. And every time you can actually gain attack on your hero, and with your hero power for 2 mana to kill a card, you're gaining card advantage over time, because you will be using just your mana and life to kill opposing cards. So in the end, you will have more cards and you'll be able to kill your opponent faster, especially because you also gain 1 armor with the hero power. So I think Combatant is actually better than a lot of people think. Then we have a Silent Knight, a 3 mana 2/2, Stealth Divine Shield. Somebody said that I thought Silent Knight should have no card text because it's a Silent Knight. But apparently he's so silent that he is stealth and he has divine Shield as well. So a huge introvert, this knight being. And well, it doesn't seem great, but on the other hand, it's one of the few stealth minions that we have, and it has a divine shield as well. So we should maybe compare it to Shade of Naxxramas. The difference is it has divine shield, and Shade of Naxxramas grows. It's much worse, and maybe in some scenario that you really want stealth minions. So we were talking about the deck with buffs, right? We got the Valkyries, which are 3 mana slot, but they are legendary cards, so you can only have 2. But maybe Silent Knight is a card you want instead of Shade of Naxxramas in the deck, because it has Divine Shield as well. So you play it, it has stealth, then you buff it with something, and it can kill stuff because it has a Divine Shield. So might be useful, you never know. But it's not supposed to be great, it's just supposed to be a card that you maybe can play in a deck with specific setup. Spellslinger for Mage. Cool art, a 3 mana, 3/4, nice stats, and a very weird ability. So add a random spell card to each player's hand. And I have to compare this card to ETC. Elite Torrent Chieftain, as you know, a 5 mana, it gives you a specific card from, like a random card, but from a specific pool of cards. And what the card does is that it gives you a card when you play it, and then your opponent has opportunity to use the card first. And that might be the problem with Spellslinger. So when you play the Spellslinger for 3 mana early, because it's a great card early game, and you play it on turn 3 or turn 2, your opponent will have an opportunity to use the spell he got. There is some randomness because there are so many spells in the game that your opponent can get, let's say, a Fireball or like Bloodlust or Pyroblast, and you can get maybe like an Arcane Shot, right? So I think that's why that thing will make players not play the card, because it's too random. Unless you play a really tempo-oriented deck, when you can actually play Spellslinger and you don't care what your opponent has like as a spell, because most of the spells he will not be able to use if they're like more expensive spells, because you're the one being super aggressive and attacking, and you want spells. So like you start the game with Arcane Worm into Mana Worm into Mana Worm into a strong 2-drop into the Spellslinger on 3. You get the spell, you're like, oh yeah, I got a card, it's great, because I was off, like I didn't get cards. So Spellslinger might actually be used in a very tempo-oriented deck where you want cards and you're happy that you actually got a spell that you can use, that it works with your minions because it buffs your minions or whatever. But yeah, like it's really awkward. It's hard to evaluate the card because of the randomness. So the disparity between the spells that you can get with your opponent is huge, but sometimes it can just win games, right? Like you play Spellslinger, you just play it, you get Bloodlust, and then on 5 you just win. It's like, seriously, it's possible. So it's a fun card. It's a fun card, definitely, because it will create, again, a randomness. It's kind of like Piloted Shredder, but I would love it to be less random. Maybe like a class spell at least. But I'm sure Blizzard tested it, and probably class spell was just too good or something. So a random spell it is, guys. We'll see. I will definitely have fun with this card, but I cannot give you my opinions, like my sincere opinion. I don't know. I would be super afraid to play it, but I'm always lucky, so I'll probably do. Tournament Medic. And Tournament Medic is a 4 mana 1/8 Inspire Restore 2 health to your hero. I have to compare it maybe to our dude at 1/7 Taunt, Mogushan Warden. What's the difference? This guy heals you when you hero power, and Mogushan Warden had a Taunt. So, seems like both cards are bad. But on the other hand, you restore health. Like, when I look at this card, it seems bad. It's like 4 mana 1/8, does no damage, doesn't matter if you heal yourself or not. But the second look, I'm like, maybe there's something really crazy about this card that people will actually use. So I was thinking, okay, if you play Crazed Alchemist, it becomes an 8/1. But then, like, Mogushan Warden is the same, right? Why not play Mogushan Warden and Alchemist? But then maybe not Alchemist. Maybe you can just play it in a deck with spare parts so that you can swap stats and attack for 8 sometimes, right? But then the card is bad itself, so it's better to play Pilot Shredder. So I was thinking maybe Restore Health to your hero is good. Maybe like as a Warlock, it kind of nullifies. So like when you think about it, you're thinking, yeah, I play it in Control because I need to heal. But maybe if you play it in a Zoo deck again, like it can help. I don't know. It seems bad actually. Like it seems like a card that can be enabled. Maybe somebody can use it with effects. Maybe again that's a card for the buff deck. So like when you buff it with the Valence, it's like a 3/12. When you buff it with Mark of the Wild, there's a 3/10 taunt. So no, like there are some uses, but I don't see Restore to Health to your hero being the great ability, and it's just a troll card. literally. Alright, and now we have Justicar Trueheart, and that's a huge card. But to really understand how this card does, okay, I will just read it first. So 6 mana, that's in the slot of Sylvanas and Torison. A 6/3, 3 is really low on health. It like everything kills her. Dark Bomb, Quick Shot, Knife Juggler attack. She has a Battle Cry. Replace your starting hero power with a better one. So basically, when you play Trueheart, most classes, you play her on turn 6 or turn 5 if you have a coin. Starting from turn 7 or turn 6, you'll have a better hero power. And the hero power is basically double. So heal, so for Priest, you heal for the Rogue, you have a 2/2 weapon. For Shaman, you can select the totem. For Warlock, you don't get damage. For Warrior, you gain 4 armor. You summon 2 recruits for Paladin, you deal 2 damage as a mage, 3 damage as a hunter, and as a druid you get +2 armor, +2 attack. So you really have to think in terms like, okay, I play it on 6, then I have a better hero power for the next, let's say, 4 or 5 turns till I win or lose the game. Is it worth it? Because Trueheart is going to die instantly. And I think like for the most metagame decks right now, it doesn't matter at all. Like for Priest, it doesn't matter if you heal for 4. It's like, still Torison will be better, Sylvanas will be better, unless you play Torison and Trueheart. But it doesn't seem that good. For Warlock, you don't take 2 damage. Doesn't matter. Like you're fine. Most of the Warlock decks, you want to take that damage even. So, and Shaman again, like okay, so I played Trueheart and now I can select Taunt Totem till the end of the game. So maybe that will actually work. But other than that, I don't. Okay, so I want to talk about Druid because I think Druid is actually a totally different scenario here. But Hunter. And you get Ballista Shot, which is 3 damage every turn. That might work, but how much damage is that over time? So basically, you have to use hero power for the next 3-4 turns, and that will be 3-4 points of damage. I don't think this is worth it. But for Druid, the story is totally different. Because in a Druid deck, if you get double Innervate and Coin, you can play Trueheart on turn 1. And then suddenly, ta-da! You have a Dire Shapeshift from turn 2 till the end of the game, where you just hero power and have 2 armor, 2 attack. So you you kill Juggler on 2, you kill stuff, and you always have this amazing hero power till the end of the game, which is well, it seems great. You spend double Innervate and coin, but well, maybe let's say you coin Wild Growth and then you have 3 mana on 3. Let's just say you just played it on 4. And as a druid, you still do shapeshift a lot. So having that better shapeshift till the end of the game might be game changing. So I see Trueheart being played in druid only, unless there is something I'm totally missing. Maybe some shaman deck that really wants to control the totems. But in druid, she didn't earlier. Other than that, it doesn't seem that great of a card. Well, maybe Warrior if you really want to tank up. Like you play Belcher and you play Trueheart after Belcher. So we will see. Like the card has definitely potential, and this is something unexplored, like changing the hero powers that much. It doesn't change the hero powers that are actually changed. So if you are a Shadow Priest, if you change your hero power and you play Trueheart, it will not change it. Then we have Wilfred Fizzlebang. So a guy that summons Jaraxxus and gets stomped by Jaraxxus. A 6 mana 4/4. Cards you draw with your hero power cost 0 mana. So, again, Sylvanas and Torison slot. But some handlocks do not play Sylvanas anymore. And like this card, so I'm thinking Wilfred in a control deck where you have a lot of high cost cards, right? So you play Wilfred, let's say, on turn 8. And then you hero power. And then you draw something. So maybe if you play Wilfred in a top heavy demon deck, so they can, let's say, get a Doomguard, which is 0 mana, so you like play Doomguard, or you can get Mal'Ganis. So in most cases, when you get the card, you will be able to play it on turn 8 because you just tapped for it. And if you play Wilfred on 6, it is a high priority target, which is not that hard to kill because it's a 4/4. But if you create a situation where you can actually have Wilfred, then you just get a free card. So I think the card is definitely decent. Like, it's not amazing like Torison, but it's a card, and well, it's only for Warlock. But maybe you can build a Warlock that actually will use Wilfred as a card, because I can see his effect work really well. The better card you get, the bigger card you get, the better. So, you know, maybe you can play cards like Nosdormu, or like you can play Alexstrasza and Jaraxxus, stuff like that. So basically, well, Jaraxxus seems weird and not really working with Wilfred, because then you will not be able to draw cards with your hero power. But I like dragons, so Wilfred is kind of like a ramp-ish card for Warlock. Definitely something I would like to play with and then try as a card in my deck. Alright guys, and I have one more card for you, the card that just got revealed on a Chinese stream by Callum Leslie. It's called Darnassus Panther Rider. DPR, basically. A 2/3/2. It's in Chinese for now, but maybe you can see it as translated. So basically what the card does, when it enters play, you get an empty mana crystal that you'll be able to use next turn. And when it leaves play, because it's Defralo, then you lose the crystal. What this means that you can play it on 2 as a druid, and then on turn 3, if it's still alive, you can play a 4-drop, which might be Keeper of the Grove, and you can silence it, so you never lose the crystal. It can be Piloted Shredder. Basically, you're losing nothing. Like, you're playing a 2/2/3, and it's great. Like, you get the crystal, and you can use it. If you don't use it, like, it's fine. If it dies, like, you lose the crystal, but it's still alright. Like, you're still the mana crystals that you wanted. The tricky part is somebody can actually get it from Pilot to Shredder, and then they're never getting the crystal, but they're losing the crystal when the minion dies. So I'm expecting a lot of fun stuff, and I think the card is definitely playable. Alright, and the last two for you, I have the cardbacks. There are the new 2 cardbacks for the expansion. The one is already being used. You can get it for the pre-purchase of the booster packs. I love it. I love the purple color and the tournament feel, the silver lining stuff. It's really good. And the second one will be granted by the end of the month if you reach rank 20 for the season. It's orange and blue. It's kind of like Steed with some straws here, and it's okay-ish. I prefer the purple one. It's more noble. But yeah, that's it about the card reviews for now. If more cards are getting revealed, I will be trying to review them for you guys, so know my opinion on this. And this episode was really fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it as well. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next episode.